She may say she wants success, luxury, security, and yes, those things matter. But there are deeper drives at play, hidden ones, emotional truths she doesn't always admit, not even to herself. Because what women truly love can't be bought. It's felt, and the men who embody these things, they become unforgettable. This isn't about rejecting success, it's about surpassing it. Because while most men chase money hoping it will earn them affection, the Stoic man moves differently. He doesn't chase attention. He cultivates the one thing that can't be faked, internal value, expressed through presence, discipline, and calm power. In this video, we're uncovering 6 things women secretly crave more than wealth, and why most men overlook them completely. These are the silent behaviors, the intangible signals, the masculine traits that speak louder than any luxury ever could. Once you understand them, you won't need to convince anyone of your worth. Before we dive in, comment below. What's one thing you've done, without money, that made a woman respect you more? Let's show that wealth is useful, but energy is irresistible. Women live in a world of emotional fluctuation, not because they're unstable, but because they're sensitive. They feel more, absorb more, and are constantly responding to their environment. What they crave, often unconsciously, is a man who brings order to internal chaos, without needing to fix, react, or run. This is why wealth alone isn't enough. Money can buy experiences, but it can't buy nervous system regulation. A man with $1 million who panics under pressure will still make her feel unsafe. But a man who can sit calmly while the world spins, who doesn't flinch at her emotions, doesn't argue when things get tense, becomes a foundation. Unshakable presence isn't loud. It's not stoic in the emotionless sense. It's calm responsiveness over reactive panic. When something goes wrong, a delay, a conflict, a breakdown, most men try to control the situation or escape it. But the Stoic man remains. He listens, he breathes, he responds from stillness. She feels this in your body language, in your tone, in the way you say, we'll figure it out, without rushing to fix it. That moment, however simple, can outweigh years of gifts or gestures, because now, she's not with a man who wants to protect her. She's with a man she can relax inside of. Think about it. When she cries, panics, or overthinks, and you stay calm, not cold but centered, her energy starts to adjust to yours. Not because you demanded it, but because you offered her a higher frequency to match. That's real masculine leadership. It doesn't silence the storm. It outlasts it. And when you do speak, your words carry weight. You don't need to hold everything together. That's why I'm here. That one sentence, said without drama or performance, tells her, you're safe now, I'm not going anywhere, and I don't need you to be perfect for me to stay still. That stillness, your emotional posture under pressure, becomes the thing she values more than anything else. Not your success, not your lifestyle, but the emotional climate you carry into every room. That's what makes her respect you in silence and love you in depth. So stop thinking power is in what you buy. Power is in what you don't react to. Because when she sees that your presence is stronger than her panic, money becomes a detail, and you become her center. She may never say it directly, but her body, her breathing, her tone, they'll all tell you the truth. A woman is most drawn to the man whose emotional state regulates hers. Not with intensity, not with force, but with calm control, and that control is something money could never buy. Most men try to impress with logic or lifestyle, but women don't feel safe in logic. They feel safe in energy, and your energy becomes her emotional compass. When you react, she becomes reactive. When you spiral, she mirrors it. But when you're calm, deeply, genuinely calm, she drops into that state with you. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing how you feel. It means containing it, feeling it without becoming it, leading with clarity instead of chaos. And that containment, when mastered, makes a woman's nervous system relax in ways she often doesn't even understand. She might say things like, "I don't know what it is about you. I just feel safe." That's not about words or status. That's your nervous system sending a signal to hers. There's no threat here. I'm centered. You can be too. That's why Stoic men attract depth, not just attention. You'll notice it in the way she starts to breathe slower around you, how she touches you more gently, how she stops rushing. You're no longer just a man. You're a regulating presence. And once she feels that, she becomes more feminine, more fluid, less defensive, because your inner calm becomes her outer ease. Here's a phrase that reflects that energy. You don't have to be okay right now. I'm not going anywhere. It's simple, but if said from a grounded place, not performance, it becomes unforgettable. It tells her, you can fall apart here. I won't. The man who brings this level of calm doesn't need grand gestures, because his emotional control becomes the luxury she didn't know she needed. He becomes her safety net, not by rescuing her, but by refusing to let her chaos control his state. So forget being the loudest, forget being the richest, be the man who makes her feel still inside her own storm, because when her nervous system finally feels peace in your presence, she won't care what you drive. She'll care who she becomes around you. A man who chases pleasure is common. A man who controls it is rare. And in the eyes of a woman, nothing commands quiet respect more than a man who can walk away from comfort, because he's walking towards something greater. This is discipline, and it's more attractive than any amount of money. Stoic philosophy teaches that freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's mastering the part of you that wants everything now. The man who delays gratification doesn't do it for show. He does it because his vision is stronger than his urges. And that kind of restraint isn't just power, it's leadership. You see, most men chase what feels good in the moment: attention, lust, approval, dopamine. But those who can step back, breathe, and choose long-term alignment over short-term satisfaction, those are the men women remember, even if they don't understand why. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man is ruled by impulse, even if he hides it well. But they can also feel when a man's actions are led by clarity, not cravings. And that distinction makes her lean in, soften, respect. Because now she's not dealing with a boy chasing stimulus. She's facing a man building legacy. You'll see it when you say no to things most men say yes to. Staying out late, seeking approval, chasing fast intimacy. She'll notice when you put your mission before distraction, your plan before comfort, your mind before your mood. That contrast is magnetic, a phrase that reflects this mindset. I don't say no because I'm deprived. I say no because I've chosen something better. It's not pride, it's presence. And she'll feel that presence as something solid, unshakable, not because you're cold, but because you're clear. And here's the paradox. When a woman sees you discipline yourself, delay pleasure, hold your line, walk away from temptation, she'll start offering herself more freely because you've shown her you don't need her energy to feel whole. And that makes her want to give it. So stop chasing pleasure. Become the man who can own it and still walk away. Because the moment she sees you choose your path over your impulses, she'll stop comparing you to anyone. She'll know this isn't a man she can tempt. It's a man she can trust. A man without a mission becomes a man dependent on women for meaning. And women feel that instinctively. They may enjoy the attention, the affection, the gifts, but without a greater direction, they lose respect. Because feminine energy does not fall in love with a man. It falls in love with where he's going. When your mission is clear, when you wake up with purpose, move with discipline, and put vision before validation, women don't feel neglected. They feel drawn in. Why? Because you're no longer orbiting them. You've become gravity, a center point, and that's what feminine energy wants to revolve around. Many men make the mistake of placing their woman at the center of their life. They call it love, but it slowly becomes dependency. And nothing kills attraction faster than the feeling that you need her more than your path. Because now, your life has no direction, only desire. Stoic men don't abandon connection, but they never worship it. Their mission stays first, not from coldness, but from clarity. And this clarity does something most men never expect. It frees her. Because when she knows she doesn't carry your purpose, she's able to bring her full self. Not a role, not a weight, but real feminine expression. You'll know you're living with mission when your decisions aren't emotional. They're aligned. When you say no to things that feel good in the moment but pull you off course. And when she sees this, your loyalty to something bigger than her, she stops testing. She starts trusting. A sentence that reflects this truth: you're not my purpose, you're part of my path if you walk with me. That's not rejection, that's invitation. And only the woman who understands the weight of that line will be strong enough to walk beside you. Women don't want to be your goal. They want to join a man who already has one. Because when you're on a mission, your energy is focused, and that focus becomes rare. And that rarity, that's what makes her drop her armor. So don't slow your mission to prove your love. Invite her into a world already in motion. Because a man who chooses purpose over pleasure doesn't lose women. He attracts the one willing to build with him. Most men can stay calm when things are going their way, but only a few can stay centered when something or someone they want walks away. And fewer still can walk away themselves without resentment, blame, or emotional chaos. That man, he's rare, and women feel his strength long after he's gone. Stoic philosophy teaches that control begins with the self, not with outcomes. So when a woman sees you detach from a situation that no longer serves your integrity, and you leave quietly with no need for explanation or revenge, she remembers you differently. Because most men leave with noise, arguments, pleading, emotional reactions. They need to be seen, heard, validated, but the man who walks away with calm posture and no closure seeking sends a very different message. My peace is non-negotiable. And that message echoes in her mind longer than any speech ever could. This kind of detachment isn't coldness. It's self-respect in motion. It says, I loved you, but I love my center more. And when a woman sees you choose your values over your attachment to her, something deep within her shifts. It's not rejection, it's revelation. You'll know you have this power when you're not shaken by her silence. When her withdrawal doesn't make you abandon your standards. When you can say, I'll always care, but I won't stay where I'm not honored. Not to guilt her, not to manipulate, but to remain true to yourself. And if she tries to test you, pulling back to provoke a reaction, and you still don't chase, still don't break, that's when the shift happens. That's when she realizes he's not trying to win me. He's already won himself. A sentence that carries this energy. I'd rather lose you than lose who I am becoming. Not dramatic, just honest. And honesty delivered with peace carries more impact than any declaration of love said in desperation. So never underestimate the power of how you leave, because while charm may attract her and money may impress her, the man who can let go without bitterness is the one she never fully forgets. Real leadership doesn't need a speech. It doesn't ask, "Is this okay?" It simply moves first, calmly, clearly, without seeking applause. And that kind of silent leadership is something women don't just respect, they crave it, because it makes them feel safe without needing to be told why. Most men confuse leadership with control. They think they need to dominate, dictate, or demand. But that's not leadership. That's insecurity in costume. Real masculine leadership comes from direction, not domination. From quiet certainty, not loud commands. The Stoic man leads by example. He doesn't tell you how present he is. He just is. He doesn't ask for permission to be the anchor. He becomes it through consistency, through stillness, through the way he moves through stress, decision, and discomfort. That's what makes her trust him, even if she doesn't yet understand why. You'll see it in small things, how you enter a room, how you make plans, how you pause before answering, how you give structure without tension. She doesn't feel cornered by you. She feels guided. And the more you lead with that grounded calm, the more she relaxes into her own feminine energy. Leadership without words is energetic dominance, not in a controlling way, but in a stabilizing way. It's the man who can say little, but say it with such weight that others adjust to his frequency. That man doesn't need to remind anyone he's in control, because no one doubts it to begin with. A single sentence that reflects this truth: I don't need to explain the direction. I embody it. When that energy is real, she stops questioning. She starts trusting. Because now she's not being forced. She's being led without effort. Silent leadership also means you don't wait for her approval to move. You take the first step. You initiate. You create space. You protect time. And in doing so, you create a world where she can finally let go of control. That surrender isn't weakness. It's a deep feminine response to true masculine motion. So don't lead for attention. Don't lead to impress. Lead because you know where you're going. Because when a woman feels that you've already chosen your path, and that her presence is welcome but not required, she follows not because she has to, but because she wants to. If you've made it this far, you already understand. Women may admire wealth, but what they truly respond to lives far deeper. It's your presence, your emotional posture, your discipline, your ability to stand still when the world, or she, begins to shake. These are things money could never buy, but your mindset can build. Stoic men don't impress with noise. They shift reality through calm. They don't lead with what they show. They lead with what they hold. And when you begin to embody these 6 traits, you'll notice something powerful. You'll stop trying to prove yourself to women and start choosing the ones who move in rhythm with your values. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. Which of these 6 traits are you currently working on? And which one have women responded to most even when you weren't aware of it? Let's sharpen each other in the silence. Let's speak not from ego, but from inner structure. If you're done chasing things that fade and ready to cultivate things that last, subscribe to Masculine Stoic Mind. Because we're not just talking attraction here. We're building men who lead with depth and live with direction.